All right, welcome back. I am in a car. I got Court Desautels with me, so thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's great.
I've been waiting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we finally get to do this, which is fantastic. I'm stoked to have you on the show, as it were.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. The studio's much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Well, I used to be in a Nissan Versa.
Oh, really?
That was the first couple. Yeah. So one of the things that I'm going to start doing a bit more is just reiterating why we do this. So
Sure.
Empowering leaders to strengthen communities is the purpose of Intrigue Media. And this is like a platform. I'm in a car is a platform to try to give leaders a voice to share their experiences, but then also give an opportunity to the audience to learn some stuff that they might be going through or can maybe avoid or learn from so they can apply into their everyday.
Sure.
So that's why we do I'm in a car.
I love it. No, it's been great to watch them.
It's a ton of fun.
And I actually learned quite a bit.
Oh, really?
About just leadership in general,
Cool.
and obviously a lot about other community leaders. So it's it's become more of like a staple.
Awesome.
Now.
It's like
interesting.
it's one of like the highlights of my week.
Yeah.
Getting a chance to do this kind of stuff, and there's been some gems that I didn't expect that just kind of blow me away. And I mean, I'm not going to name names because if I do, then I won't name other people, and then maybe
of course,
whatever.
Jealousy, and then,
we don't want that.
We don't want that.
Yeah, great. So
Poor leadership.
No, yeah, there you go. Yeah, equality is important. So as per the normal format, we do a quick little introduction. So can you give the audience, for maybe those that don't know you, a little rundown of where you've come from and what you're up to these days?
Yeah, where I've come from. Well, I'm Guelph born and raised.
Yeah.
And started working at the family pub, the Bowl Charms at the time, now the Woolly, when I was 13.
Wow.
13 years old, washing dishes, and then worked at a variety of kitchens around Guelph. Moved to Toronto, worked in some more food service there, and ended up, went to school for marketing actually, and then came back and worked for Sleeman Breweries for 4 years, ran all their events for Ontario.
Awesome. That made it a cool gig.
It was great. And then I decided I'd had enough of that, left, moved to Australia. Australia. I'm Australian, by the way. You don't know by the accent, but my mom's Australian, so I can kind of
really?
claim, 50-50.
Oh, cool. So do you have citizenship over there?
I do.
Oh,
so I went to
that's
move
sweet.
there. I went to just move there permanently. Wanted to get out of the restaurant business because I've been in it my whole life, and the only job I could get was working in a restaurant. Go figure. And I fell right back in love with the industry again.
Cool.
And just with a dedication towards local foods and everything, and it really inspired me, and it really taught me how societies were different in different countries around the world.
Cool.
'Cause one of the things is when if you travel around in other countries, if I'm in France, I eat French food. If I'm in Vietnam, I eat Vietnamese food.
Right.
If I'm in Italy, I eat Italian. Portugal,
Sure.
Portuguese. And when I'm in Canada, I eat Italian. I eat French. I eat Vietnamese. You know, there's all these different. There's nothing that really symbolizes what Canadian food was.
Right.
And so that's came back in 2000, just at the end of 2006.
Yeah.
My dad called me, said, "Are you interested in opening a restaurant?" I stupidly said yes.
It sounds so exciting.
It was so exciting. It was great. It was a incredible experience. Most expensive education I've ever received in my life.
Yeah.
And we opened up the Borealis in 2008.
Cool.
And that was in December of 2008. So right when there's an economic downturn, you're right in the busiest holiday season, new restaurant. So it was a very painful 3 months.
Yeah.
Incredibly painful. It was actually a struggle for about 2 years, trying to find what a local restaurant meant to be. And that's what we were trying to do. How do you define what a local restaurant is? What is a local restaurant?
Right.
Is it about the food and the drinks? Or does it go beyond that?
Right.
And especially when you live in a place like Canada, what do you do in the middle of the wintertime? Where's all your produce come from and everything else?
Right.
So I can take anybody into any one of our kitchens, into our fridges, and I can show you. Maybe not right. Well, it's probably starting to get to see some more produce coming in from California,
right.
Florida, potentially Mexico, and some other places. You know, small bits and pieces here and there. We still got all of our root vegetables and everything else, and we try to make sure the menus adhere to that philosophy as best we can.
Right.
Obviously, all of our dairy and meats and everything else. But so how can you say that you're a local restaurant with these ingredients? So we said we had to take it a step further, and it was, okay, so where are our staff uniforms? Where are they being made?
Oh, cool.
And the building materials that we're using.
Right.
Then it got into where are the paper goods coming from? Where are the plates made? Where
Awesome.
are takeout containers coming from? And it just started steamrolling and realizing that there's a lot of things you can't get within Canada, but there's a lot of things you can.
Right.
Right. And so we just started sourcing a lot of different products, and that started being our defining moment of that's why we call ourselves obsessively local.
That's cool.
And so and then just went from there. We opened Borealis Kitchener in 2011, and that was a much easier process.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that. Hopefully, it wasn't as painful as the first one.
But we had some struggles for sure.
Yeah.
How do you figure out a concept that supports as much local as possible, tries to give back to the community, is environmentally responsible,
Right.
And how do you make money doing that?
There's a
there's like,
caveat.
we have to pay people, and we have to pay investors,
Yeah.
and we struggled being able to do that. It took us about 5 years from to be able to start to turn a profit and start paying down some debt. So it was we had some really hard times actually, and but we stuck with it, and that was the key.
Yeah,
we didn't waver. We just got smarter.
That's interesting.
And then we opened up Majida in 2015, and that was our take on trying to define what Canadian food is.
Right, and it's awesome.
It's
a
been
great
a
concept.
huge succest. It had its challenges at the beginning, people not really knowing what Majida meant,
right.
Why we chose this word, Mahida, Mahoda, whatever people wanted to call it. And we knew that the word was so important to define Canada because it's First Nations, it's Ojibwe,
right?
And it means let's eat.
Cool.
And that's this definition. We thought, what better? How can you not call a restaurant? That's a perfect word for a restaurant that's trying to define what Canadian foods are.
That's so good.
And trying to tell the history of Canada, which is a very troubled history.
Right.
But there's, but food has a common language.
Cool.
And food brings people together.
Yeah, it's like
if you're going to at least start talking about some of these topics, it's a great place to do it is around a dinner table.
Food's like the root of community.
It is.
Like way back caveman, people would kill something big and then they'd bring other people around because if somebody else killed something, they didn't have any food, they could
That
share.
was kind of how economy started.
Yeah,
right?
seriously.
So that's
really
the base
neat.
of our civilization. So that's the spot there. And now don't know where to go.
So hold on, just before we get into that stuff, I just wanted to latch on an idea you just said there. I know a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, even people going out on their own, kind of like maybe agents and that kind of stuff. The first couple of years of a new practice, a new initiative can be really, really difficult, really painful.
Yes.
And you mentioned this idea of but we stuck with it, we didn't waver, we just got smarter as we went. So I was wondering maybe you could touch a little bit more on that for the people that are out there that are maybe second guessing, should I stay with this or man, maybe I should just throw it out? Like, what kind of things kept you going? What gave you the inspiration to see the light at the end of the tunnel and said, we got to stick it out?
Well, I think it's always defining, what's the first reason why you get into business, right? Are people getting into business to make money? Or are they doing it to create some change or to find or to solve a problem?
Put a dent in the universe.
Exactly.
Cool.
And I think when you start with the latter, you're defining a business to support local farmers or to be purposefully driven.
Yeah.
You find that inspiration every day to keep trying to figure out how to make it work.
Cool.
Right? And when you go into to make a profit, you realize that this business isn't making a profit, there's no emotional connection to it.
Right.
And so that's why a lot of people either fail or they just give up and they move on to something else.
Right.
But when you believe in something heavily and you throw everything you have into it, and it's
blood, sweat,
it's
tears.
not working,
Yeah.
you go, I got to figure out how this is going to work. There is a way.
That's a really cool concept, that idea of leading with purpose. And I think everybody can learn from that. And then, Simon Sinek does a really good job of articulating some of those ideas.
He does.
But I think that, just understanding why you're in business, that's a really, really cool point for everybody to keep in mind.
It's true.
Because it's been true for us too. Like when you say it like that, it's dead on.
Yeah, and you have a lot of people that you become so entrenched in the community, and people are rooting for you to succeed.
Right.
And so you also have this, this obligation to people to say that this model can work.
Will work.
It will happen, and more people can do it, and we're going to prove that's going to happen. And we be the, we use this line often to kind of steal it through the B Corp model, but we're never trying to be the best restaurant in the world. We're trying to be the best restaurant for the world, and we want to be able to show, not hide our secrets, tell people our secrets.
Cool.
Show people, maybe some of the systems we have in place and some of the hard lessons that we've learned, and some of the great people that we've met along the way that have helped us get through a lot of the tough times.
So do you want to give a shout out to a system or a person right now that's kind of been one of those things?
One of those things, one of those people. Well, obviously my father's been instrumental in developing the whole concept. And
so Bob, should we get him on I'm in a Car?
You should get him on I'm in a Car.
All right, Bob.
You're up next.
The request is we're asking, the request is coming.
I'll sit in the back.
Yeah.
Maybe in the baby seat.
Yes,
I'm still a little baby. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your dad, right? That's hilarious.
But we also realized we had some shortcomings in our company, and we brought in another good leader by the name of Eddie J. Jane Drissitz, who came from a crazy background, and he used to be the president of Oliver Boncini, used to be a VP with Cara.
Oh wow.
Used to VP with Sir Corp.
So you had some really good experience.
He opened up all the Red Lobsters in Canada.
Wow.
45.
I was gonna say, that's a small project.
45 restaurants in 3 months.
Holy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here today if that was me. Yeah, I'd be dead or I'd be on an island somewhere. And but he brought in the whole system aspect, because to run a business, passion is what gets you motivated every day, but there's the science behind it all, which actually makes it work.
Cool.
Right, and you need the perfect marriage between the two. Passion is what keeps you going every day, but you need to have strong analytical skills to realize where you can make money, where you can make some cuts,
right.
Some simple things to do to even elevate foods and elevate the perception of a dish, so where you can charge the proper amount of money for,
right,
or you can utilize ingredients in a much smarter way.
Cool.
But we've done some weird things too. Like
yeah.
We started weighing our garbage.
Really?
Yeah, for 3 months, all of our restaurants weighed our garbage, and we wanted to calculate to see how much waste we were generating per guest.
Right.
And it was really just to see, wow, restaurants are quite wasteful.
Right.
And a lot of places just have a big dumpster out the back where everything gets thrown into. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to solve some of those problems, and we broke down to weighing all of our recyclables, everything, to 1.3 pounds of waste per guest that came in a restaurant. So as soon as you walked in the door, we generate 1.3 pounds of waste. And at the time we were serving, now we serve almost 8,000 people a week, which is ridiculous.
That's a lot of pounds of waste.
It's disturbing.
Yeah.
And so what it taught us is start analyzing, okay, where is that weight coming from? A lot of organic weight, or let's look at our potatoes. We're always doing white mashed potatoes.
Right.
So what happens if we start doing skin-off potatoes or just roasted potatoes?
Right.
And start eliminating those things. We're taking away labor.
Okay.
And one thing we're also adding, we're not removing waste, we're adding more food.
Yeah, you're putting more on the plate.
On the plate.
Yeah.
And
that's so simple and brilliant.
It's so simple.
It's so brilliant.
Yeah.
Though.
And we also started looking at plates. We work with the University of Guelph.
Yeah.
We've got another great friend there, Bruce McAdams and Mike Von Masso, who have been great at helping us tackle some of these issues. And one of them is plate waste.
Yeah.
And figuring out, let's start looking at all the food that's coming back from the guests.
Awesome.
And what's on the plate. Bread is a huge one. That's why we don't serve bread in our restaurants. We serve bread on the, if you get a burger, but we don't do bread service.
Right.
Because about 40% of that bread, on average in restaurants, gets thrown in the garbage.
Crazy.
40%. It's insane.
Yeah.
So you get into, you're looking at fish and chips, and you're going, man, a lot of fries come back. Right. Or people don't use the ketchup on the plate. And we used to always auto ketchup everything. It was like, oh, there's fries, there's ketchup.
Yeah.
Now we'll sit there and say, do you need ketchup with your fries? Our ketchup consumption was cut in half.
Wow.
Right? It's all these things.
And the guest experience isn't impacted at all.
Isn't impacted at all.
Oh, man.
And so so you start tackling some of these issue like waste and other wasteful or environmental, I don't call them disasters, but things that we were just taking for granted in the restaurants. and started analyzing them and going, wow, one, we're taking the stuff out of landfill, but we're also saving money by doing it.
Crazy.
And you're also adding more nutrition by, maybe I'm not peeling a carrot. If we're getting organic carrots, why do we need to peel them?
Right.
And, the skin on the mashed potatoes. So there's a variety of items we started tackling, and it was those things, looking at a higher purpose, which actually started driving things to the bottom line. But the bottom line wasn't even in the picture.
It's so brilliant, dude.
Right?
It's so brilliant.
So, and that's really been a big driving force for our company.
I can't express how cool that idea is, because it's like it's truly running a business on authenticity, defining the passion and the purpose, using that as a decision-making tool to drive efficiencies inside the company.
That's it.
Is fucking awesome.
I was wondering if I could swear on here.
Oh yeah, you're good. That was brilliant, Court.
That's good.
Oh, you crushed it. That's awesome.
So, but it's a funny thing. We still weren't that profitable of a restaurant back in 2011, even when we opened up. We weren't profitable at all.
Right.
And at the time, we always do these manager seminars. We go away at places. We've had the pleasure of going to Okanagan Valley, to New York City, Chicago, and we'll take about 15 managers and go and talk about how not the things we do day to day in the best business, but how we're going to work on the business and where we're going to create, how we're going to lead ourselves to be the best at tackling some of these issues.
Yeah, cool.
And we read a book called Let My People Go Surfing, by Yvon Chouinard from Patagonia.
I haven't read it, but I heard about it. And
Plug, Patagonia.
And who is the author?
Who's Yvon Chouinard.
Yvon? Your request is coming.
Oh man, it'd be great to have you on here. And I was reading the book about what a B Corporation was.
Right.
And I went, wow, this is really cool. What's a B Corp? For those of you who don't know, check out bcorp.net. And it's a nonprofit organization that is authenticating businesses using profits as a source of good, as a force for good, and it's measuring what you do not only for customers, but for the environment, for your community, for your employees, and how you govern the business.
Yeah.
And so
that's so cool.
So I went through the application process 2011. It took us 4 years to be able to get it. And we had some investors who didn't want to buy into it. We had to do more for our employees. We wanted to offer benefits, health benefits.
Yep.
And so now if you're with our company, if you're with us for 2 years, we pay 100% of your health benefits.
Awesome.
After your first year, we contribute about $25, 50% to that package. And if you're a salary manager, we pay 100% of your benefits right away. And these things are all an extra cost.
Yeah.
And we started looking at how are we going to become, how are we going to offset our carbon, and can we start using green electricity, green gas? So Wooly, the pub, works on green gas and green electricity.
Cool.
And the other restaurants, we buy carbon offsets through an indigenous offsetting group called ANWAN. And that's run through Guelph, another B Corp called Shared Valued Solutions.
Awesome.
But they're all extra costs. We're not making a lot of money. We're adding all these costs on there. And so people don't want to get on there.
Yeah, that's great, guys. Thanks for using all my money.
You go to a bank and say, this is what our model is. We're going to take our profits and whatever profits we have and dump more back into the people in the community.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, no, go somewhere else. And
oh man, it's crazy.
But we did it. Right, in 2015 we got certified. There's to date now, I think there's 18 restaurants in the world that have the certification. There's 2,300 B Corps in the world. Thank you. And we're 4 of them. Of those 17, there's only 7 in Canada. But 4 of them are ours. And it's not as a tout to say, we're not tooting our horn, but like, hey man, we're an elitist group. It's actually quite a sad statement.
Right.
Because there's only 7.
Yeah.
There's 7. Do you know how many restaurants there are?
Yeah,
in Canada, there's thousands.
I was going to say 10,000 easy,
right? It's one of those things. Besides a variety store that you see on almost every corner.
Yeah,
right. And so it's obviously it's a tough business. It's hard to make money, but we took this leap of faith.
Yeah.
And then we started seeing more profit come to the bottom line.
Awesome.
And we still have our struggles, most definitely. We thought it would curb turnover and everything else, and it has in some restaurants and it hasn't in some others.
Right.
And so that's when you start talking about, how's it trickle down from a leadership perspective.
Yeah, that's really the next direction we're going to talk about.
Right? Like, we can talk about all these higher purposes.
Yeah.
But are they being articulated properly to the frontline workers?
Right.
And do people understand it? Or is it a value to them? So what's something of value to me with kids and having health benefits is great.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with you.
Yeah, big time.
Right? But somebody who doesn't have health benefits, or somebody who's a student who's included in their tuition,
Right. They don't
or they're under their parents, what do they care?
Yeah.
So then it's trying to find the right fit of the when you're hiring somebody and bringing them on board. So, for the years that we've had just 2 years now, we have to we're recertifying for B Corp. We have to recertify every 2 years.
Right.
Sometimes our turnover rates aren't that great. And we're going, wow.
Well, it's also industry kind of wide.
It's an industry-wide thing, but as a comparison to industry-wide, we're quite well. We do quite well as a group. We're below the industry average. It's a 75% attrition rate in the hospitality industry.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nuts.
It is crazy.
Right? But I'll use our Woolly. Our attrition rate at Woolly is like 15%. I think it's crazy.
It's crazy.
People
and I can
like
attest to that
years.
as a customer. I've seen the same people there for years.
Right? And so, but you look at the area where you're in, it's a downtown core as opposed to suburban areas like Borealis, where it's a younger population. It's usually parents with kids, as opposed to downtown. It's usually adults living there and living that lifestyle.
Right.
And so, people are committed. People at the Woolies, staff there have kids.
Right.
A little more mature. Not saying that some of the other people at the restaurant are immature. They're older.
Yeah.
So they appreciate certain things.
Yep.
And so now
And stability is probably one of them.
Stability is, it is, right. And so, they've been there for a long time. They see, it's a consistent income that comes in, as opposed to somebody who's just going to school just to supplement their income while they go on to do something else.
Yeah.
So now the key is, how do you find the people who are, can we turn this industry into something that is like the European or maybe Australian models where people actually work? That's a career, working in a restaurant.
Right. Yeah, because in Australia they get paid like $20 an hour, right?
$20 an hour. That's interesting. $20
no tips.
an hour. No tipping, and boy, tipping, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Don't tell anybody out there, internet, until I actually officially release it. We just done something really crazy. We just put a vote through in our restaurants. This happened over the past couple weekends.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out how do we become a living wage employer. And most of our service staff are in that echelon of living wage of $16.50 or more per hour.
Right.
But our kitchen staff are not.
Right.
And it's kind of an embarrassing thing for all of us working in the in the executive team with the group, is going, geez, we have a lot of guys and girls that are working in kitchens that can barely afford to take the bus to work. And how do we get that? How do we get that wage up? And it's utilizing gratuities was a big opportunity. Plus, with the minimum wage increase happening.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at the minimum wage increase where everyone's crying the blues. And yes, it has its challenges. I'm not saying it doesn't, but we're taking a different perspective. Instead of trying to fight it, we're going, let's embrace it and let's figure out how to make it work.
Yep.
Because I'm not changing it.
Yeah. No, that's done.
It's done.
Yeah,
So,
it's happening.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about it now.
We're going to take a 25% labor increase. And how do I make it work? Well, it gets us that much closer to living wage. And we're just below, bring us up to about $15 on average, $14 minimum wage, where we have $15 on average for kitchen employees. What's the extra piece that can get us there? And that was gratuities. So I proposed this dilemma to all of our staff, 4 meetings across the company, and then I said to the service staff, are you willing to make a bit of a pay cut to help your fellow kitchen employees? And there's always this.
Oh, yeah.
There's always a divide, right, between the service staff and kitchen staff. I don't really see it a lot in our restaurants, but
Sure.
there's this
us,
It's perception.
them.
It's us, them,
Absolutely.
Right? There's all the YouTube videos you can watch and everything else.
yeah.
And, watch the movie Waiting and everything else, right? Like,
Yeah.
And so I said, this is something I can increase our tip out. I have the right to do that as a business owner.
Yeah.
But where is that going to get us? I said, I think you have the ability to make that choice.
Right.
And so I said, so you can vote on it. It was an anonymous vote. And all the service staff, either they decided whether they wanted to wait to vote on it or they wanted to do it right then and there. There's a box, right? Yes for increased tip out. And that will get us to living wage for all full-time employees. By next year, it will be for all employees company-wide.
Huge.
And we were 84% yes.
Wow!
84%.
That's goosebumps stuff.
Isn't it crazy?
Oh, that's so cool.
So we're just going to go in the process now through
that's so big.
Guelph Poverty about getting certified. Have to reach out to you, find folks. We've been in discussions for about 13 months about how to do this and how we can utilize gratuities to show that it be incorporated into the living wage model.
Right.
Which it can be. And now I think we'd be the first restaurant group in Canada to be a certified living wage employer, which would be cool. It would be really great. But there's a lot of other great restaurants out there that are already doing it. Other independents that are making that leap of faith too. So a big shout out to them. Some other B Corp restaurants out there like Paintbox and Save On Meats Diner and Smack Foods.
Cool.
But and there's a variety of other ones too. But I think as a collective, as a group, we'll be the first ones to do it, to be able to kind of challenge the industry to make another step in the right direction.
That's huge.
So
you guys are doing a lot of cool stuff, man.
Yeah, a lot of fun things, right?
Yeah,
These are the things that get us going in the day. Like if I was just working in a restaurant every day, I've been doing it for 25 years. It's
crazy.
Really sad.
You're looking good, though. You're looking good. You're looking good. Yeah.
It's a lot of plastic surgery.
Australia helped.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but I think it's those things that you got to keep us moving, cool. And it's those projects that will be able to keep people working in the company, our management team, saying, "Hey, I don't just yes, I'm going in and working the everyday and dealing with the day-to-day operations, but us selling pints today, we know that 50 cents for these beers are all going towards Kids Ability.
Cool.
So what a great motivating factor. Right now we're doing Grand River Conservation Foundation.
Awesome, for the New Nature Center.
Yeah, for New Nature Center, which we pledged $75,000 for that Nature Center.
You guys rock.
And we pledged that by 2018. Actually, by this month we've hit that mark.
Wow, congrats.
A year early. So thank you everyone out there for drinking.
And not driving.
We should do I'm in a pub.
I'm in. Honestly, I've got one scheduled in January it's a resolution episode.
Yeah.
I would love to do an I'm in a pub.
I'm in a pub.
Absolutely.
Then we can really drink.
I will take you up on that. I will not drive. I'll get a driver's seat or an Uber or something afterwards. I love that idea.
I brought a present.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it is the season?
It is the season.
I feel bad.
No, well, we're going to share it.
Oh, okay, great.
So, I saw Chris Thiessen drinking 2 Gale in the car. And I went, well, you guys got some balls. That's good.
We were parked. The car was off.
I know it was parked.
Just for the record.
It was all CIG, right?
Yeah.
CIG.
This
wasn't
is
really
screen.
a car.
Yeah. We're not driving anywhere.
And, but our chef at the Woolies, Jarrett Flanagan, all our chefs are making these eggnogs. So he's had about a 2-week-old eggnog. One of our chefs, our executive chef for the company, Shay Robinson, actually had a year-aged eggnog.
I didn't know eggnog aged.
I didn't know either. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I was like, is that a good thing?
Like, I'm drinking aged eggs and booze, right? Hopefully the booze content's high enough and it kills all the bacteria.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah,
so if you don't see us again...
you know what happened.
But Jarrett, you did one of your chef offs. You did the chef off.
Yeah, awesome. It was awesome.
And
that was recent.
So we're Christmas Eve. We always do a big party at the pub. We do mulled wine and torchère for all of our guests.
Cool.
And he made this eggnog, so I brought some eggnog.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost back. We're gonna park.
Yeah, we're gonna park.
Yeah.
That's why I just kind of saw we're on Delhi Street.
So okay, one last thing for the format then. If you were to go back 25 years ago when you started this whole thing and tell yourself something that you wish you knew then that you know now, what would it be?
I would have started this a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I would have. Yeah. I would have gone to. It's one of those things you go to search. I didn't want to be in the restaurant industry, and I went out to find, greener pastures.
Right.
And it dawned on me how special things were here. I think you need that time sometimes to go away.
Yeah.
But I think you need to also take a stand back and look at your life and realize what you have instead of not what you could have.
Right.
And I didn't get back into the restaurant business, until I was 32. I left for almost 10 years essentially, right. Or not 10 years, but 10 years of getting more onto the management side.
There's a story about a farmer in Africa who sells his farm to go and search for diamonds. Have you heard of this?
No.
So he sells his farm, and he's got like the richest soil, but it's starting to dry up. And so he sells his farm and to go into part of the diamond kind of rush that was in Africa, still kind of is, and lost everything. So lost all of his money, didn't find any diamonds, and he ends up dying. And he was like a malnutrition while he was in a search for where they were, and ended up passing away. The person he sold the farm to after he passed away was treating the dirt and working the ground and found a shiny little something. And then it turned out it was one of the largest diamond mines in Africa, and it was sitting underneath his farm the whole time.
Really?
And it's just this whole idea of these diamonds under our feet, taking some time to just realize what we have instead of what we could.
It's a great story.
Cool.
That's a great story.
All right, so let's do some eggnog.
Let's do some eggnog.
Okay, awesome.
Car's off.
Car off.
Off.
So now the
Let you hold this for a second.
ticket can only be open alcohol.
Yeah.
So this is...
You gotta give it a shake.
Okay. Oh, you brought glassware.
I brought glassware.
Willie,
Yeah.
you're the best.
Randy,
Willie.
marketing.
Nog. So which one is this? Is this the 1 week?
This is a 2 week old.
2 week. Okay, cool.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks. It's quite delicious. Oh, there. Good pouring skills.
Thank you, sir.
I was getting nervous about pouring this in the car. I was like, oh god, I'm gonna get all of it.
I got 6 years of fine dining experience under my belt. It always comes. It's valuable in the holidays when you got like 20 people around the
There you
table.
go. So it's quite potent. I tried a little bit before I came here. Wanted to make sure that we weren't going to get sick.
We'll see.
Sorry, Jared. I don't know.
Yeah, you're good.
But it's delicious.
Cheers.
It is. Yeah. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't it?
That's really good.
Isn't it delicious?
Wow.
So
I never thought 2 week old eggs would be really good.
I know. Imagine what the 1 year old ones taste like.
My God.
Yeah. So you can age it and just have enough booze in there.
Yeah.
It really is a key.
It's good. I like that.
Key to save you.
Yeah, it's key to life.
It is really.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, indeed.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye-bye.